Good morning, everybody. Friday morning. I look a bit rough. It's been a couple of pain-filled nights, sleepless nights. I'm not doing as much as I should be doing to help myself, I know that. So I'm going to have to pick myself up and start applying myself to getting this ulcer under control before things deteriorate as they did before. I wanted to make a video about something called akasha, which is another name for space, if you like, the celestial space to which we will all return. But that's not going to be what this short video is about. As many of you know, my husband's in residential nursing care. He's had Parkinson's disease for over 2 decades, Lewy body's dementia for getting on for 12 years, I suppose now. It's difficult to pinpoint, pardon me, the time when it all actually began. But I can say that the reasons that Alfie needed to be in residential care were numerous, really. Firstly, he went into respite care on 3 occasions. 2 of those occasions were very satisfactory. It was a place for ex-military people, beautiful, beautiful star and garter place. Unfortunately, we lost the place due to shilly-shallying by a local council who were refusing to help, basically, and wanted Alfie to be kept in a different residential home where we had to remove him due to safety concerns. He wasn't receiving his medication on time, if at all. He deteriorated within the space of just a couple of weeks. It was an horrendous time. A lot of it is documented on videos. When I first made YouTube video a few years ago, is documented on there, the respite care that Alfie got. But that's neither why I'm here today. When Alfie had a fall 2 or 3 years back, he was in hospital, cat's fallen, for over 3 months. He wasn't expected to survive. I was there every day, for between 12 and 18 hours every day, resulting in me having a nervous breakdown when eventually Alfie came out of hospital and we found him a remarkable placement. So the reasons for Alfie being in residential care are numerous, mainly safety concerns for himself and for me, because sufferers with dementia can get quite violent. Carers can suffer from complete and utter burnout, which I did. It was impossible for me at £110 as I was then to bathe and care for a man who had lost control of his bodily functions. So there were those reasons. Despite that, I've always hoped, even until recently, that there'd be a miracle and Alfie would be able to come home to me with obviously a major care plan being put in place. Unfortunately, the continuing healthcare won't cover that. I've been told that it's not conducive for Alfie's continued well-being. I have to admit, I was going to say I have to follow the neurosurgeon and the doctor's advice. I don't have to, but I have to admit that yes, they are right, as are my children. But you know, I'm still a carer for Alfie. I go every day, apart from Sunday. I take in clothes, goodies, all sorts of things, from sweets and juice to homemade cake to reborn dolls. I sit with Alfie, I sing to him, I talk to him, I massage him. I never sit on a chair when I'm there, or rarely. I'm always on his lap. And when I go to move, he always pulls me back. So he knows that I'm there, even though he doesn't always acknowledge me. In that way, I'm still a carer for my husband, and I always will be. I've been very gratified and very grateful for the care that Alfie's been getting, which has been one-to-one, 24 hours a day. Of course, we had to fight for that, and there were some major hiccups along the way, but we got it, and was in place, one-to-one, 24 hours a day, trying to keep with a group of the same faces, so that Alfie has got that continuity of people in place. So, the day before yesterday, my son, my youngest son, had a telephone call from the manager of the care home to say that the one-to-one care at night was being taken off, and Alfie would only be receiving one-to-one care from 8 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. This is due to an assessment by the Care Commission, and it's all about saving money. I tried to speak to the managers yesterday, but they're in meetings, and when they phoned me back, I wasn't around, so I'll speak to them perhaps today. It's not going to change anything. The only way the one-to-one at night will be put back on is if there's a major problem. But surely prevention is better than cure. Alfie will wake up screaming in fear. He'll fight. He'll try to get out of bed. He can't walk. He'll fall. There's a crash mat at the side of the bed, of course, which will help. But if he tries to get up and he falls and he hits his head, as he did before, who's to say what that is going to cause? It's not like a normal fall for us who have our mental health with Lewy body's dementia, any minor change is a major, major problem. I know that when Alfie first went into this nursing home, and before the 24-hour care was put in place, i.e. he only had care during the day as now and not at night, within 2 weeks we noticed that Alfie had gone from being able to hold a knife and fork and be in the dining room there, or the sitting room there, to being dead-eyed, slack-eyed, just nothing there. His blood pressure was low on a number of occasions. I was the one who always picked that up. Alfie ended up in hospital, back in hospital twice because of this. Had a meeting with the neurosurgeon and the doctor who came in and voiced my concerns and asked why the change, why has this happened? And he checked Alfie's medical records and found that lorazepam had been given every night, as you would take an aspirin. Alfie didn't need a sleeping tablet at night. These sedatives should only be used PRN, which means, well, it's Latin phrase, but PRN should only be used when necessary for the benefit of the patient, not for the convenience of the staff, simply because they want a peaceful night. So, I'm left in this situation now whereby I'm concerned, obviously, that this may happen again. It's only got to happen once and the roof will lift. I will not allow it. Just as I've had to, wherever Alfie has been, even though they say they're places where they specialise in dementia care and Parkinson's and Lewy body's dementia. I've had to educate, if you like, the staff in regards to how they should be addressing the problem. There was one occasion a while back when I walked in and there was an agency nurse, an agency carer, trying to get Alfie, force Alfie to have his slippers on. He didn't want them on, his eyes were closed, he was hitting out, he caught a lip. You can tell this was like over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, because I was in a wheelchair after having had my hip replaced. We walked in just as this woman had got my husband's hands, shaking him like this, saying never again, and she hit him. She's fortunate I was in the wheelchair. As it happened, I yelled, told her to get out. She said he'd hurt her lip. I'm afraid my language wasn't very ladylike. I told her to get out. The staff came running down. She won't be working at that place again. She's never worked there again. and she's probably gone from the agency now. What I'm saying is that when people have got dementia, whether it be like Alfie with Lewy body's dementia, vascular dementia, Alzheimer's, the primary thing that you never do is argue with the sufferer. You try to distract them. You never argue with them. You never try to force anything upon them. You don't correct them. You have to, even if they're talking nonsense, just and ah and veer around the subject. Never attempt to rationalise with them. Just deflect, redirect, reassure. Never argue, and certainly never lay a hand on someone who's in your care. I veered off a little bit from what I want to say, and what I want to say is this. I'm concerned now. Alfie's care has been exemplary. I've got no problems with the place where he is. I'm very grateful to them. But now that they've taken the night care away, which is a nonsense because Alfie doesn't go by the clock. You know, night time to him can be like daytime. So he's got somebody with him 8 in the morning till 10 at night, but nobody from 10 at night until 8 in the morning. The only thing he will have, as the other residents do, is a crash mat and one of the alarms that are sensory alarms that will let the nurses know if there's movement in the room. And also there will be an hourly check. A lot can happen in an hour. And Alfie's room is as far away as you can be from where the nurse's station is, if you like, where they will be. So my concern is the crash mat, the sensory alarm, the hourly check. That's all well and good. But Alfie does not run by our clock. The illness does not allow him to. He can sleep during the day all day and be awake all night. I'm not going to have him zapped with lorazepam again. I made that clear yesterday, albeit by telephone calls. I shall make it clear again today. Only if there is a danger of Alfie harming himself, or if he is so distressed that they can't calm him down, in which case pick up the phone and I'll be straight there, whatever time of the night it is. But as I say, the lorazepam sedation is not for the benefit, not to be used for the benefit of the staff, only for the benefit of the patient. So what we fought so hard for, some of it has now been taken away from us. I'll have to see what today brings and take it step by step. I just wanted to come on and let you know what's happening, and I shall be back with my Akasha video either today or over the weekend. Tomorrow I'm going to sorry. Tomorrow I'm going to an open day, looking at some apartments with a view to identifying one off plan that I would like. These apartments are in a village being built. It won't be completed until 2020, so another 2 years, 18 months. It's just up the road from where Alfie and I always used to live, rearing our family. So I know the area very well, and it's well situated. I think they're going to be reasonably expensive. Some are to buy, some are to part rent, part buy, and then there's going to be a few social housing. So I'll probably just buy outright if I'm going to have one. But I'd like to choose the one I want, and I've already identified one off plan that with a wraparound balcony that looks really nice. So we'll see tomorrow how that pans out also. So a few things in this video, but the main subject is my husband. So wish me luck in getting done what is in his best interests as far as possible. I'll be back later. God bless.